G'day and welcome to the character guide for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. So today we're going to start with a character who I feel like doesn't really get much love. His name is Metal Killer and he's really cool, he's an android. So I'm just going to start with a general overview with things such as the character stats, skills, blast attacks, some unique properties, their ki blasts and combos and things like that, and then moving on to strengths, weaknesses, other characters who are similar to this, and final thoughts. So let's get started. First things first, as you can see there, he has 4 health bars, average defense, targets a lot of their sand, so he's not taking extra damage, which is really nice, and has average damage similar to Lord Slug and Super Gallic Jr. So with 3 ki bars, which is excellent, and 0 starting skill points, and has a maximum of 4. He cannot charge his ki, him being an android, that's pretty normal, and access to 2 follow-ups after a smash attack and 4 in sparking mode. He gets a heavy follow-up from a grounded throw. Some characters it's common to, they just get kind of planted into the ground and you have to use the blast deck, which is a bit sad, but you know, that's just how it is for some characters. For his perception, if it lands, he gets a ki blast cannon, so that means he can normally get like a blast attack follow-up, which is okay. It's not the worst thing in the world, but could be definitely better, and he has no transformations. So next we're going to speed along to his skills. So his skill 1 is transmission. So as you can see, it teleports behind the opponent, and it's generally pretty useful for, say, an opponent is staying at a distance trying to use ki blast, and maybe they think about going into spark. Boom, get this right behind them and get a combo, and it's just really situationally useful, and costs 2 skill points. But the real strength of this character is definitely his skill 2, which is pretty nuts even compared to a lot of other characters. So it's an instant, it's regeneration, so that provides a decent amount of health, say 40%, around 16k, so almost 2 entire health bars, and takes 2 seconds to pop. So pretty much you want to like use a smash attack of some kind, pop this, then boom, you're basically back up to full. Even if you're running really low, that's at least 2 health bars. And considering how fast skill point generation is in this game, that's pretty easy to get, which is just pretty bonkers. Especially considering how much meter you can gain just in general for this character, vanish walls and things like that. So pretty cool. Alright, so I'm going to move on to his blast attacks, which I think are really flashy and cool. So the first one is a projectile, which is actually unblockable. So got a decent travel speed, dealing 8.6k on average. It's a bit expensive at 4 ki bars, but situationally useful to open up your opponent, especially if it's going to thinking they can just stand there and block. Of course, it can still be vanished, but just something that the opponent always has to keep in mind, especially say we rely on perception, that kind of thing. It means that it can't simply be deflected like a lot of other blast attacks can. So pretty cool. Next is his blast 2. It's a consecutive ki blast type. Nice and cheap, it only 2 ki bars, but very consistent, as you can see there. If you get hit by any of them, you can just vanish in between or just block, and it does very little damage. Best case scenario deals about 5k, which is alright. It's not great, but again, I think these kind of attacks would definitely use some kind of buff just to make them a little bit more useful and consistent, and also easy to block and guard against. But yeah, it is where we are at the moment. So now his ultimate blast, which is a projectile, moves really fast, and it's quite high even for this kind of cost. It deals about 19.8k damage. Yep, there we go, 19875. Very spicy. And yeah, that's basically his blast attacks. All like I said before, kind of situational, but they'll have their little uses. So saying to yourself, hey, this guy, he looks cool, but what makes him really special? So glad you asked. So first of all, he's an android, so that means passive ki regeneration, which is excellent. Come on, girl, there we go. And it means he gets extra ki gain during combos, which is excellent. It means that if you want to poke at a range with your ki blast or up close, he can very easily do that. And just gaining extra meter during a combo is not too bad either to counteract for the fact that he cannot charge his ki. Also, he gets an instant ki blast, so similar like a lot of the other Cold Clan, Cooler, Freezer, Frost, and the like. So this is just excellent for keeping your opponent at a distance, You use single or a couple at a time. Other ones are fantastic. And he's one of the few characters which gets access to that. And the only, from memory, he's the only android who gets this kind of key boss, which is really cool. I think that's pretty unique for him. Also, he can rapid vanish in sparking mode, so that's when you tap guard when it's sparking, and it just helps you to get around things a bit easier, and you can use to vanish behind your opponent, which is not bad. It's a nice feature for a lot of the faster characters in this game. Also, the other last and pretty unique thing to him is that you can actually have multiple cappers in this character. If you're running a regular team, you can run 5 with this guy if you really want, or if you're running a standard DP team, you can have at least 2 of this dude, which I think is really excellent. Especially, you swap between them and then you use the regeneration. It's just almost as though, boom, you have 1 kill, then you have 2, and then you can just swap between them. And hey presto, you have an unkillable 2-man army. So, and I'm sure people have had lots of success with that in this game. So, anyway, moving along though. So, like I said before, he's got his very fast key blasts and the ascending. And you have his what I call the shotgun style, like the three smash key blasts. And while the range is not great, like as you can see, like at full screen, only a couple of the blasts actually hit, and they do move reasonably fast, which is not bad, but it's really designed for up close, as it actually deals a decent amount of damage. And then if he does the jumping version, it's just like a close range blast, which is okay, but generally speaking you want to just be using this at a distance and then closing in and using that, which is both good options. So next we'll be covering his combos and just general moveset. So his dash heavy attack is key blast wave, which is, in my humble opinion, probably the weakest form. It's just very easy to super counter. You used to be able to just vanish it on reaction quite easily. Now you can just super counter it, so it's just out there for a very long time. But at least it's safe now. Like, you fully charged up, they can't really do a whole lot to you, so that's situationally okay. He's got heavy finishes on his first hit, flying kicks, so it means he can hit from the front and do a small combo after that. And yeah, rush goes on his first develop, and lastly, rolling hammer, which turns him around. So that's basically him in a nutshell. He's just a quick combo, which I'll have the notations in the text. Boom, 13.5k, nice and easy. So having shown all that, just his general kit and everything, so what truly makes him shine? So as we saw before, he's got the health regeneration skill, which is just absolutely fantastic, just to keep him alive and healthy and just be a general nuisance, I suppose, in general. He has excellent options to stop instant sparking thanks to his key blast and instant transmission, just to go behind them. Right, he has the skill points, and I guess he also has this to stop people trying to cheese him at close range, which I guess is not bad despite its cost. Non-blocker is always handy, and also he's just a really good point character in DP or single bars because he starts with 3 key bars. That's a little bit above average. But in terms of downsides, his stats are kind of a little bit underwhelming for the cost. Most either have higher than average attack stat or defense with this kind of cost, but it's not really a giant problem, honestly, considering the archetype for this kind of character. Generally has below average defense, so I don't think it's a huge downside. I think the biggest thing for him is just the fact that he lacks any kind of defensive buff, like kind of having to go all in on instant transmission or regeneration is a bit rough, especially considering he doesn't have a whole lot of skill points to mess around with, so just keeping that in mind. And also his moveset can be a bit average or below average, again, just compared to similar forms and costs and things like that. But if you like this kind of character, there are 2 characters I can recommend. So it's Android 17, his super version. He's 1 TP cheaper, got all the Android benefits, and he can also access to like things like instant sparking, and with the only downside being he doesn't have the Cold Clan key blast. So, well, if you just want to stick with a similar archetype character but also have like other advantages like transformation, I'd say pick up Freezer Super. He is cheaper, can go golden, and just generally better damage and has better skills. But we'll just kind of wrap it up here before I start gushing too hard about this guy. I think he's always been an excellent villain, and just always had a very cool, unique style, even among like other androids and just villains in general. So while he's definitely one of the more expensive androids, he's tied with the cost for the gammas and Fuse Android 13. He has a lot of things going for him. Like he's got Key Bus, which I keep going on about, and health regeneration, which is also really, really good. Helps him to play slow and safe. Just whittling down a distance, and then he goes in when he needs to with the shotgun style blast or his transmission or whatever he wants to do. Then he can rinse repeat that. And the main fours, as I said before, just his general moveset can be a bit light compared to some of the other freezes or just his regular base cooler form. And of course having no access to Key Blast Cannon and the poor dash heavy definitely limits him somewhat, especially in a game where it's just so volatile all the time. You want consistent options if you can. But otherwise, I reckon he's a really strong character, and I recommend him for other single or DP battles. So that's about it from me, guys. If you want to keep an eye, I'll be hoping to release a bunch more character guides in the near future. Just keep an eye out, and hope everyone has a great day, be blessed, and I'll catch you all again soon.